Hello everyone, this is Princess A here. Today we're gonna do some math. We're gonna count how many ways that you can get final damage down. So let's get started. So final damage down, as you can see here from our attribute board, is one of the special attributes, and it is arguably, I think, the most important single stat in the entire game. Due to its nature, in both PvE and PvP, it's super useful. So final damage down basically means that for every 1% more final damage down than you have than the enemy's final damage up, you will receive 1% less total damage. So it is the highest multiplier in the entire game, and when you have 100% more final damage down than the enemy final damage up, then the enemy will do literally 0 damage to you. So that is why it is super useful in both PvE and PvP settings. And so let's get started. First, let's look at the genies. So in genies, each color of the genie will have one specific genie that provides you with the final damage down. So for the red one, it will be Dragon Princess, and it works like this. So for each 5 level, starting from level 4, so level 4, 9, 14, 19, etc., it will provide you with a certain number of final damage down. So for red genie, it will be Dragon Princess. For orange genie, it will be Taoist Mage. For purple genie, it would be Queen. For blue genie, it will be Consort Yu. And for green genie, it would be Lunar Rabbit. And apart from all these 5 genies that provide you with final damage down, and it's important to say right here that you do not have to deploy them in order to receive the bonus. It is in the background, and you do not have to deploy these genies to enjoy the final damage down. The other genie that is worth noting is Yu Yao here. So the reason why I would always recommend that you choose Yu Yao and Yu Yao only from the purple genie chosen chest is because of this resonance here called Private Night Chat. As you can see, it provides you with huge amount of final damage down too. And so it consists of Handmaid, Lady Fragrance, and Yu Yao. And because you usually have very high level for blue genies anyway, so your level of Private Night Chat really depends on the level of your Yu Yao. So it is important to always choose Yu Yao whenever you have any purple genie chosen chest, because you need your Yu Yao to level up in order to get more final damage down. So that covers all for genie, and now let's move to abilities. So in abilities, first we will see that in your body ability, you have final damage down sigils. So these sigils provide you with a certain number of final damage down depending on your level of sigils. And it's also important to note that in Penglai, we know that we can get our chosen sigil chest from your merit points. So it is recommended that you will only choose final damage down, because final damage down is the most important stat in the entire game. And now let's look at gallery. In gallery, we have 2 traits that will provide you with final damage down. First would be Lotus. As you can see, it is consisted of Rebirth, Healing Lotus, Samadhi Fire, and 3-head 6-arm. And that is the reason why whenever you have a SR ability chosen chest, you would always choose Samadhi Fire and 3-head 6-arm because of the trait here. And it's important to keep in mind that you want Samadhi Fire and 3-head 6-arm to be around the same level, because you need them to be the same level to level up. And the other trait would be above heaven and earth. So for each level, you would gain 3% more final damage down. And it is consisted of Iron Body, Giant Might, Infiltration, and Sure Stance. And that is also the reason whenever you have an SSR chosen ability chest, you would always use them to choose between Giant's Might, Infiltration, and Sure Stance, and make sure they're about the same level. Instead of choosing anything else, I recommend that you choose between only these 3. So that's that. So that covers the ability section here. That's reflected on your ability on your trait board. And now let's talk about relics. So for relics, I know that in spirit relics, there's more relics that provide you with final damage down. But for the sake of this video, and because I haven't reached that in my server yet, so let's only focus on the Mortal Realm relics for now. So for Mortal Realms, there are 2 sets that provide you with final damage down. The first set would be the Stolen Collaboration. So as you can see here, by activating these 2 swords, you get final damage down for 5%, and for each level afterwards, you get 5% more for each level. And so let's talk about the budget here. Each sword is about $300. So if you want to activate this trait, it's $600 and more when you level them up more. So depending on your budget, you may or may not would like to unlock this sword here, but that's pretty much how you get 5% more final damage shot, and to be honest, it's pretty good. And the other set that we have is Dragon Epic, and I'm not sure if these two relics are out in the NA server yet. However, it works exactly the same as the Solon collaboration that we just saw. So it's consisted of Dragon Orb and Drake Skill, and all the set effects are the same. So let's just skip this now. And finally, we will have 3 other things that can level up your final damage down. So first of all, let's check our loss. So for loss, your elemental loss and your natural loss would not provide any slots that have final damage down. It's only the supreme loss, as you can see here, it will provide you with final damage up and final damage down. And so supreme loss would probably take around $3,000 in total to unlock, and you have to pace yourself through the daily pop-ups. It will be faster if you try to buy all the available packs when you have the events and other events, but it's recommended that you probably spread them out to a range of about 3 months to 4 months and to open the supreme loss. But yeah, so supreme law is the law that can provide you with final damage down and final damage up. And so we'll make a video on how to gain final damage up, but for this video, let's just focus on final damage down. And now 2 more things to go. In equipment refinement, and if you check bonus, you can see that for specific levels 3, 7, 11, 17, 26, and 36, it can provide you with a number of final damage down. And so you gotta just push through your secret realms and participate in Brawl to get all the purple stones that you need to refine, because you really need them for refinement. And lastly, in compatriot, you can see that Xiao Wu in the current meta is the only compatriot that will provide you with final damage down trait. And actually, in the most recent new update in CN server, they have a new compatriot that will also provide you with final damage down. But right now, we only have Xiao Wu. So for each 20 level in Xiao Wu, you will have 1% final damage down. And in Add Higher, it will provide you more. So I have 5% in total and 25% bonus for the Add Higher. So that gives me 6.25 in total of final damage down. So that's basically all the ways that you can gain final damage down in your attribute board. And now let's talk about 3 more extra special ways to gain. So when we go back to Genie again, Dragon Princess will basically, its skill means that whenever your health drops to a certain percentile, Dragon Princess will provide you with 35% more final damage down. And for Stone Colossus, it will basically give you number percentile of final damage down depending on the level when the battle starts. So that's 2 genies that will provide you with extra final damage down, and this stat is not reflected in your board, so remember to calculate that if you want to do that. And finally, we have the ability Ironclad. So Ironclad will also give you a number of final damage down when a battle begins, depending on the level of your Ironclad. And it is important to note that Ironclad is very useful in early game, because in early game, everyone's final damage up isn't so high, and this is when Ironclad will be very effective. However, because Ironclad is a green ability in nature, that means it can only take 1 sigil. It means that it can only take 1 final damage down sigil compared with SSR or SR abilities. So when you have level 8 sigils late into the game, then Ironclad wears off and is not so effective. However, for the sake of this video, and for early game, you can definitely take Ironclad because it increases your final damage down for quite a bit. And so I think that covers basically every source of final damage down that we can get in this game. Please let me know in the comment section if I missed anything. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit a thumb up for me. Thank you so much, and let's see you guys in the next video.